Welcome back to Dreaming with Neopets. Last tutorial covered how to create an account, how to plan for your first pet, and how to navigate the new converted website. Today, I want to cover all the options in the user settings, as well as discuss the rules of the site. Again, my boyfriend will be demonstrating what I'm explaining using the account he just created. First, let's go to user settings. Click on the active pet's image in the top left corner to open the left navigation menu. Then, click on Settings. This will take you to the general user settings. The first thing you can customize here is your site theme. You can make the basic theme into a few basic colors, but you can also choose more elaborate themes like the Altadorian Constellations theme. These themes will also more drastically change the background on the homepage. Take your time trying out these themes to see which one appeals most to you. My boyfriend decided he liked the Haunted Wood themes the most, since it would match his pet Bone Dungeon after he's able to paint him into the Halloween color. Now the site theme you've just chosen actually won't change the appearance of the unconverted pages, which is why we have a setting for the classic site theme. This works just like it did for choosing the site theme for the converted pages, but there are fewer of them, as most of these site themes were secret site themes that could be only unlocked by doing certain things on Neopets. Block Trudy's Surprise will stop you from receiving the daily notification to spin Trudy's Surprise. Trudy's Surprise is free and gives you more Neopoints the more days you spin in a row, earning you 100k if you can manage to do it 25 days in a row, so it's recommended to leave this unchecked. Block Battle Dome challenges prevents random players from asking to fight you in the Battle Dome. This rarely happens in my experience, but sometimes if your mailbox is full, people will send a Battle Dome challenge as a way of trying to alert you so that you need to clear your inbox. There is a closet limit of 650 items by default, but you can remove that limit by checking here. Personally, I prefer to keep fewer items in my closet so I can more easily find the items I want to use, but this is completely up to you. Block Neopets transfers would prevent other users from sending you a pet-to-pet trade. This would be useful if you have random people trying to trade for your pets, but if you are looking to trade pets, you would want to leave this unchecked. Games Room challenges lets other users challenge you to a game to see who can get a better score. This is not super common anymore, but you can decide if you want to block all, receive all, or make it exclusive to Neo friends only. If you click this arrow, you'll get your guild settings. Block guild invitations prevents people from sending you invites to their guild without your permission. Checking guild mail would prevent your current guild from sending you guild mailings. Here are your NeoFriend settings. Here you can block friend requests from other users, and you can decide if you want to block strangers from sending you gift items. Sending gifts is another way that users may try to communicate to you that your NeoMail inbox is full, so it's usually best to leave this open. Now let's look at NeoMail settings. Here you can check this box to make it so that you can only receive plain text emails and not advanced NeoMails. I've actually never even seen an advanced NeoMail. I don't know what that is, so I'm not sure how relevant this is today. If you're receiving a lot of NeoMail from strangers, you may want to change your settings so that you only Neo friends can NeoMail you. If you're using the trading post a lot to make trades, however, it will be important for you to be able to receive NeoMails from other random users. Now let's look at account settings. Some information can never be changed, like your username and birthday. Here, you can enter your first name or a nickname you'd like to be known as on Neopets. You can also easily change your gender here, though again, I would hope this will be removed in favor of pronouns in the future. Here, you can change your location in case you move to a new country or state. You can also choose to enter your zip code, but there's no on-site benefit for doing this, and I don't recommend it. Two-factor authentication opens a menu that explains how to activate two-factor authentication on Neopets. This keeps your account more secure by sending a code to an app on your phone every time you log in. This way, if hackers don't have your phone, they will not be able to access your account. Finally, you will need to re-enter your password at the bottom of this page in order to save any changes. This is also where you can change your password when you decide it's a good time to do that. To save, you have to hit Update Account Information at the bottom of the screen. You can also undo any changes before you save if you'd like to clear everything you've entered so far. Now let's look at profile settings. First, you can select your 3 primary interests, which will be displayed for other users on your profile page. My boyfriend likes cars, computer games, and he likes dogs. Next, you can update the HTML for your profile. I'll go over how to customize your profile page with HTML in more detail in a different video. If you don't know any HTML, you can also just write a basic description introducing yourself to anyone who might happen upon your profile. Once you enter something, you can hit Preview Lookup to see what your changes will look like on your profile before you save. This page also requires you to enter your password before you can save your changes. Now let's take a look at the privacy and security settings. Here, you can always review Neopets' privacy policy. You can also come here to get some basic tips on protecting your personal privacy. This area is actually important to review because Neopets does not allow many things which have become commonplace on other social media sites. It is against the rules to share off-site contact information, and it's also against the rules to share photos of people's faces. This rule is in place to protect children, which the site is still mostly geared towards. This section also talks about not using programs to play Neopets automatically, which would get you frozen. Online status lets you decide if you want your online status to be public or private. You can also change your online status to one of these fun, customized options. Stealth mode likewise hides your online status from other users. Age display is only visible to Neo friends, but you can hide it from them as well, or limit to VIP Neo friends, who may be people you know in real life. Under security, you can find a menu where you can report abuse, such as profanity, scamming, cheating, and more. If you notice behavior that violates any of Neopets' terms of service, you can report those users here. Under account security, there is more general information on how to keep your account protected. The top of this page makes the bold claim that, contrary to what many people claim, no one has ever hacked into our site and accessed user information accounts or usernames. The only means by which a user can have their account stolen by someone else is whether that user inadvertently or intentionally gives out their account password. This is a very wild claim coming from a website that just had a major data leak like a couple years ago that leaked the information of every single active user at the time. That data is still publicly available and used to access accounts without the account owner's consent to this day. Now, I don't know enough about network security to say if that counts as nobody hacking into their site, but it seems like it would be better optics and accountability not to make claims like this in the light of those facts. Moving on. Here, you'll find PIN preferences. You can choose a 4-number PIN to add additional security to various areas of your account. I highly recommend doing this, since it's not too inconvenient and it can prevent hackers from accessing your bank, pets, safety deposit box, and more, even if they're able to gain access to your password. And finally, we have the birthday login prompt. This makes it so you have to enter your birthday as well as your password whenever logging in, adding an additional layer of account protection. Now, if you click email, it takes you to your email preferences. Here, it lets you know that you can use the same email to create up to 4 accounts. This means you can have 3 side accounts, though you may not earn any Neo points on those accounts. More on that later. You can also change your email here if you've decided to move on to a different one. It's a good idea to remember your original account email, as this is sometimes used in account recovery if you ever forget your password. This is also where you can turn off certain email notifications from the site. Personally, I usually only like to be notified when my pets leave the Neo Lodge, but that's all up to you and your needs. Now let's look at Neoboard's preferences. Here, you'll see your avatar, which is probably the default avatar. There are 60 basic avatars that come with every account, but there are also hundreds of secret avatars that are like achievements that can be unlocked by doing certain activities on site. Many people choose to collect these as a goal, since your user lookup tells other people how many secret avatars you've unlocked so far. Your active avatar will display on your user lookup, and it will represent you on the forums, so choose one that suits your personality and hit save. Neo title is a little title that will appear next to your username when you post on the Neoboards. Neo HTML is where you can use BBC code to customize the way that text appears on the Neoboards. You can also add a custom signature here, but I can talk about how to do this in more depth in a different video. At the bottom, you can also choose to hide the font effects and neo signatures of others. This can be helpful since some users' font color choices can make their posts harder to read, but seeing how creative people get with their signatures is fun too. Now let's look at About Neopets. Here, it tells you a little bit about when the site got started, as well as a seemingly confusing bit about the current price of asparagus. Getting the same amount of Neopoints on hand as the price can earn you a secret avatar of one of Neopets' most hated characters, Adam, one of the creators of Neopets. Then, we have a brief look at the general rules of the site. Most importantly, you need to remember that Neopets is a family-friendly site. Neopets has players of all ages, so you cannot talk about anything related to sex, violence, physical harm, mental health issues, self-harm, alcohol and drug abuse, profanity, or anything that you wouldn't say in a second grade classroom. It's not welcome on Neopets. Number 2, you need to play Neopets with honesty and fairness. This means doing anything that would be considered cheating, which means creating multiple accounts so that you can do dailies multiple times, sharing an account with another player. It would also include buying and selling Neopoints, Neopets, accounts, or items for real money. The spirit of that rule is if you didn't earn it on your own but used outside help instead, you're cheating. And cheating is not allowed on Neopets. This will get you, all of this stuff will get you instantly frozen. Rule number 3 is to treat your fellow Neopians with respect. So it's also expected that you're not going to harass or bully. So you shouldn't be calling people names, you shouldn't be using any slurs, you shouldn't be spreading any rumors, you shouldn't be publicly shaming people, you shouldn't be filing false abuse reports, and in general, bringing about unwanted attention. Rule number 4 is do not steal. I feel like this kind of follows under cheating, but it's really just don't scam, don't steal, don't try and get other people's account passwords, don't trick people into paying a lot of Neopoints for an item that's worthless, don't pretend to be someone you're not. All of that stuff is considered scamming. So if it could even remotely be considered stealing, it's not allowed on Neopets. 5. Neopets is not a place to discuss heated topics or world issues. The off-limit hot topics include religion, makes sense, politics, makes sense, and here they have sexual orientation and gender identity. This one's really weird to me because Neopets has official Neopets items that represent people's sexual orientations and gender identities. There's lesbian items on Neopets, there's gay items on Neopets, there's transgender items on Neopets. So I'm not sure to what extent this applies today. I'm assuming that they just mean that they don't want you to get into debates about transgender rights or gay marriage on the Neoboards and stuff. If it's anything that would be a debate discussion, it's basically not allowed. And then obviously violent real world events. Rule number 6 is personal information is personal. You are not allowed to share a picture of yourself or anyone in your family or anyone you know, or really any pictures of any real people. You can't post your full name, your address, your phone number, your email, or any identifying contact information, which includes all of your social media. You can't share your TikTok, you can't share your YouTube channel. I can't share my YouTube channel. You can't share your Instagram or anything like that. This is again to protect children. Rule number 7 is do not use the copyrighted material on Neopets to make real world money or Neopoints. Now here's the rules about side accounts. First, you might be thinking, why would I want to have a side account? There's 3 main reasons. The first is so that you can have an account to represent your guild. That way all of the guild management can be handled through one account. The second reason is to have more than one gallery, so that way you can collect different types of items to show off to other players. And the third reason is to have more pet storage. If you pay for premium and you buy the maximum amount of pet slots, your main account can have up to 20 pets. On your side accounts, if you pay for all the extra pet slots, you can have 16 additional pets per side account. But it's very important that you do not earn any Neopoints or get any of the free items on site on your side accounts. Your side accounts are just for storing and displaying things. They are not to be used to make Neopoints, which would unbalance the economy. Now here's the different disciplinary actions that will happen. These are not going to happen in order, by the way. If you scam someone or you are caught cheating, you'll just be frozen with no warning. So it's not like an escalation. But if you accidentally said a word that is a swear, like if you say LMAO on the boards that technically has ass in it, or you say WTF, probably their filters would block it, but you might get a friendly reminder that's not allowed, and that doesn't go onto your permanent record. You might get a warning, which does go onto your permanent record. You can be temporarily silenced, which means you can't post on the boards and you can't post in the guilds. You can be permanently silenced, so that way you can never post on the boards or in the guilds again. This is probably for stuff where you're arguing about real life violence and stuff. You can be suspended, which is a temporary ban, or you can be frozen, which is usually a permanent ban. That locks your account and it can no longer be used to play Neopets. You have to start all over. This can also happen for your protection, like if Neopets believes that your account has been hacked, they will freeze it and you can get it unfrozen, but most of the time your account won't get unfrozen. Below site rules, you can also access the terms of use at any time. And here we have something called ad choices, which has some information about advertising on Neopets, mostly just telling you they are giving your personal information to advertisers. There's no real choice here, it just tells you what they're gonna do. Finally, at the bottom is the Help Center. This is where you can contact Neopets support team if you have an issue that needs to be addressed by customer service. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like, subscribe, and I'd love to hear what site themes and avatars you decided to use in the comments. Thanks again for watching Dreaming with Neopets, and I'll see you again whenever I feel like it.